Two years ago, Nintendo released the 3DS handheld games console, which looked a lot like their Nintendo DS that was released a few years before, but with a stereoscopic screen. That machine has done reasonably well for Nintendo, selling over 30 million units. But one thing about this console was that there was a warning with it that the stereoscopic visuals meant that it probably wasn't suitable for children under the age of 7 because their eyes are still developing. So Nintendo have come up with and released the Nintendo 2DS, which is pretty much exactly the same as the 3DS, except it removes the stereoscopic 3D visuals. As you can see, I have an old 3DS here, and they are pretty much exactly the same. The screen sizes are the same, they have all the same buttons, they have all the same features, it's exactly the same technology, but there's actually two key differences. One is the removal of the stereoscopic visuals, and the other one is the hinge is gone. With the original 3DS, you can just clamp it shut. With this one, some kind of unkinder commenters on the technology say it looks like a bit like a wedge of cheese. As you can see, it sort of comes inwards there, and it's a slate design, so it doesn't close anymore. The other key thing with it is, as it's the same technology, it can play all your old 3DS games, so any games you've bought on the 3DS in the past. It can also play Nintendo DS games as well, so you have this vast library of games that can play on it. And as it happens, really most of the Nintendo 3DS games don't really rely on 3D stereoscopic visuals that much. There's a few exceptions. Super Mario 3D World, I guess, makes some really nice use of 3D. But it's not like you can't complete the game, it's not like you can't see things in the game without those 3D visuals. So you're not really losing out, you can play all the other games. One of the interesting byproducts that I found, actually, being an enormous giant of a man, is that it actually works a lot better with my hands this way. The 3DS controls, the way the pads work, the way the shoulder pads worked, and the way the analog stick worked, you had to sort of put your hands into a bit of a claw to operate games particularly well. But on this one, because all the controls have moved up to around the screen, you've got a lot more room for your hands. It's much more comfortable. So to sum up, Nintendo 2DS is out now at around £110, which is about £20–25 cheaper than the Nintendo 3DS, and about £50 cheaper than the 3DS XL, which is the version with the bigger screen. It comes with a 4GB SD card so that you can download games from the Nintendo eShop, and incidentally, all the games you may have already downloaded onto your 3DS, you can move across to your 2DS. It's not the most desirable bit of kit, it still has that kind of Nintendo sort of Fisher-Price feel to it. It does feel quite plasticky, but for £110 you're not going to be that worried about slinging it in your luggage if you're going away with your kids or letting them play with it in the backseat of a car. You're not going to hear that terrifying snap sound when the hinges go on the 3DS, which I've heard once before and don't really want to hear again.